Salamin, nasaan na ba yung committee report? Salamin, nawala na yung report. Alright, okay, so kamusta po kayo taong bayan? So sa mga hindi po nakarelate, bakit ako kumakanta ng salamin, maki-chismis po or maki-marites kayo dun sa FB page ko para makarelate po kayo, okay? Pero anyway po, for today, ang papag-usapan natin is yung bangayan between Congressman Toby TIANGCO and the Committee on Appropriations. Ito po yung may hinihingi si Cong Toby na small committee report, tapos sinasabi dito nila Congresswoman SUANSING, yung current chairperson po ng Committee on Appropriations, is included na daw yun siya sa HGAB. Okay? So explain ko po sa inyo kung ano ba talaga yung importance niya ng mga report, kailangan ba talaga magbigay ng report yung small committee, and kung ano yung mga decided cases na related po sa mga ganitong issue sa actions po ng Congress natin. Okay? So unang-una po sa lahat, huwag niyo po sana kalimutan i-like po mismo itong video na to kung mag-enjoy po kayo or may matutunan kayo, and of course po mag-subscribe sa YouTube channel ko para updated po kayo kung may bago tayong update, okay? So para po mas klaro yung discussion natin, yung pinaka-facts po natin nito is ito po, itong hearing na to, itong briefing nung Committee on Appropriations. So you can watch the full hearing, the full briefing po of course dun sa House of Representatives YouTube account, nandun po yun. Pero kung gusto po nyo makita yung highlights, maganda po tong highlights na shinare ni former Commissioner, COMELEC Commissioner Rowena Guanzon. Okay, so this is a 4-minute video pero more or less po na-summarize yun dito sa video ni Commissioner Guanzon. Magiging legal basis po muna natin is the 19th Congress Rules of the House of Representatives. So the reason why I am showing po itong 19th Congress Rules pa, kasi yung hinihingi pong small committee report ni Congressman Toby TIANGCO is from the 19th Congress pa, hindi naman during or from the 20th Congress. Yung dati po, yung 2025 budget to yung small committee report from Congress that was later on enacted into the 2025 GAA, yun po yung small committee report na hinihingi niya. Okay, so because that is past Congress pa, 19th Congress, we have to look at the rules ng 19th Congress. Okay? So unang-una po dito, ipapakita ko muna sa inyo kung ano ba talaga yung mga standing committees, tapos yung subcommittees or yung mga small committees. Okay? So yung mga general provisions po regarding standing committees sa House of Representatives is makikita po yan sa section 27, standing and special committees. So in summary po, itong mga standing committees, ito yung mga basic committees po. When I say basic, ito yung parang fundamental committees po talaga na nasa or mandatorily required po na meron talagang ganyang committee sa House of Representatives. So yung mga example po nito is of course yung Appropriations Committee, kasi kailangan po may nag-handle talaga ng pondo natin, di ba? Because the power of the purse is with the legislature and that it starts from the House of Representatives to be specific. Kaya important po talaga na merong Committee on Appropriations. Therefore, ang classification po ng Committee on Appropriations is a standing committee. Okay? So standing committee, kailangan po talaga na may mga ganyang committee. Another example pa po nito, yung mga most recent na cover po ng balita natin is of course the Committee on Justice in relation to impeachment cases dun kay Vice President Sara. And then yung isa pa po dito is yung popular naman po sa Senate is yung Blue Ribbon Committee, yung ngayon yung iniimbestigahan ni Senator Marcoleta yung mga flood control issues. Okay, so again, yan po yung standing committees. So for subcommittees naman po, makikita nyo yan sa section 29 pa rin po ng House of Representatives, 19th Congress Rules. So makita po nyo, each standing committee may create such subcommittees as may be necessary for the efficient and effective performance of its function. So kung makita po ninyo, ang main point ng subcommittee is para siyang mag-a-assist dun sa standing committee, sa main committee, para magkaroon ng efficient and effective performance of its function. Okay? In other words, para to siyang parang a certain group of individuals na gagawing subcommittee within that standing committee para may specific task lang po talaga silang gagawin. Okay? So dito po ang nangyari sa Committee on Appropriations, gumawa sila ng small committee kung saan gumawa po yung small committee na yun ng mga amendments, ng mga changes from the actions ng committee. So doon ngayon nagka-issue kasi si Congressman TIANGCO, he is questioning na sino ba yung nag-insert ng mga certain provisions doon sa final version ng GAB na hindi naman na-discuss doon sa mother committee. So yun yung hinihingi niya ngayon. Hinihingi niya yung minutes and yung committee report nitong small committee, or to be specific, subcommittee talaga yung tawag. So ngayon, kaya po sila nagka-issue kasi si Congresswoman SUANSING, wala silang ma-provide na subcommittee or small committee report from the 19th Congress. Okay, so doon sila ngayon nagkaroon ng bangayan between them because as per Congressman TIANGCO, kailangan mabigay yun para ma-fully review niya before siya mag-conduct ng mga interpellations later on or questions doon po sa mga government agencies for the 2026 budget. Tapos si Congressman SUANSING naman, yung sagot niya, meron naman daw 2025 report. However, However, si Congressman TIANGCO, he wants also the small committee report as basis pa po niya for him to more or less to be able to make po an informed decision or informed questions or smart decision or questions in relation to sa pag-scrutinize po niya for the 2026 budget. So yung next question po talaga natin dito. Okay, so next po, committee report. Makikita po natin yan sa section 39, committee reports and orders. So dito makikita po nyo yung actual procedure on how committee reports are handled. So unang-una po dyan, of course, committee reports or orders on any bill, resolution, speech, so on and so forth, shall be considered in formal meetings and approved by a majority of the members present, there being a quorum. So kailangan po yan ng approval, and then after po nyan, a committee report, once approved, shall be signed by the chairperson of the committee. Okay? So regarding sa subcommittees or sa small committees, ang explanation po kasi doon ni Congresswoman SUANSING, hindi daw kailangan mag-submit ng small committee ng committee report doon sa standing committee kasi yung standing committee lang daw po yung gagawa ng report, and then eventually yung GAB, yung HGAB to be specific, yung sinasabi ni Kong SUANSING doon. So when you say HGAB po pala, i-clarify ko lang din, that's the House General Appropriations Bill. Okay? So sabi po ni Congressman SUANSING, once yung committee report, yung HGAB po pag-submit sa plenary, yun na daw po yung committee report. So doon po sa issue na yan, kakampihan ko po si Congressman TIANGCO na the committee report is different from the HGAB. Okay? Kasi yung committee report po, dun mo makikita as a member, as a representative, as a congressman, na kung ano yung mga changes na ginawa nung small committee or nung standing committee. So dun mo makikita, let's say si Congressman A inserted ganito, si Congressman B tinanggal yung ganito, tapos ito yung in-insert niya, so on and so forth. Dun po yun makikita sa report. Sa HGAB po kasi, dun sa General Appropriations Bill, wala na pong ganong ka-detailed na report na nangyari. It is general statements na lang po yung makikita ninyo sa HGAB. Let's say nakalagay po dyan, Project X dito sa region, sabi natin region 8, 1 million. Ganun lang po yun. Hindi na nakalagay kung sino yung nag-insert ng amount na yun. Pero kung titingnan po nyo sa committee report, makikita po ninyo kung sino yung mga congressmen na nag-move for the amendment nito, for the insertion, and for the removal. And it is for that reason, more or less, kaya po gusto talaga ni Congressman TIANGCO makita yung committee report para makita po ng taong bayan, makita po niya kung sino yung mga congressman na nag-insert ng mga questionable insertions. Diba? Kaya nga umabot yung 2025 GAA sa Supreme Court, ang dami pong cases, diba? Yung related sa PhilHealth, and then related dun sa mga blank committee reports. And in short, madami pong issues yung 2025 GAA talaga. So again, just going back po, mas kakampihan ko po si Congressman TIANGCO dito kasi yung subcommittee po, it is in a sense po, para siyang agent nung standing committee. Diba? Kasi kung titingnan po natin sa Section 29, Subcommittees, each standing committee may create such subcommittees as may be necessary for the efficient and effective performance of its functions. In short, nagde-delegate po yung standing committee ng mga certain functions dun sa subcommittees para po mas maging efficient and effective yung performance nung standing committee. Okay? And it is basic po kasi in the principles of agency, of that of a principal and an agent, na ang isa pong agent is mandatory to give a report to his principal with regard po dun sa mga actions na pinagawa sa kanya. That is a mandatory duty po yan ng agent even without an express stipulation between the parties. Tapos as expressly provided po by the Civil Code, even if there is a stipulation na nagsabi na hindi kailangan magbigay ng report ng agent, that stipulation is actually void. Okay? So alam ko naman po that is Civil Code provisions, but more or less parang ganun po kasi yung function or purpose na itong mga subcommittees, small committees in relation to standing committees. Para po siyang nagiging agent kasi yung purpose po niyan is may specific tasks po siyang dinedelegate or in-authorize yung standing committee sa kanya para po mas maging efficient or effective yung trabaho ng standing committee. Sa ganyan po, there is a delegation of authority. So pag ganyan kasi na may delegation of authority, delegation of functions, that is similar po to a relationship between a principal and an agent. And as additional food for thought lang po, tatandaan din po kasi natin yung nature of government natin is a Republican style of government, diba? Therefore, yung mga congressmen po, yung mga senators, they represent the people, yung mga district constituents sila, party list constituents, or yung people at large, the taong bayan. So pag ganun po, parang yung congressman, agent siya ng tao, tapos yung agent na yon nag-delegate pa sila ng subcommittees dito na authority. So since yung congressman nga has a duty to conduct or give reports to his or her constituents, parang unfair naman kung yung agent nung agent natin hindi magbigay ng report dun sa kanya, 'di ba? Or sa atin at large. So dun pa lang po makita natin na there is really room for argument na yung failure po na magbigay ng subcommittees or small committees ng report can be argued as grave abuse of discretion po yan on the part of the House of Representatives. Okay? So again, dun pa lang po makita natin yung agent, which is yung mga congressmen natin, senators, may duty nga sa atin mag-report. So bakit ngayon yung mga agent nila, yung mga subcommittees, walang duty, di ba? So yan lang po. I would just like to emphasize and put it out there po para mas ma-visualize nyo talaga at mas maintindihan ninyo yung right natin to information as the taong bayan in relation po sa mga actions ng mga congressmen natin sa House of Representatives. So ito po, taong bayan, I will show you my mga documents na tinago ko lang po dyan sa stock room namin. So this is this is House Bill number 3408, General Appropriations Bill, January 1, December 31, 2017. So ito po, pakita ko sa inyo. Okay? Yan. So this one po is the very first House bill po in relation to the General Appropriations Act or yung General Appropriations Bill back then na nahandle ko po as a member of Congress nung 17th Congress. This was for the 2017 budget po to siya. So ipapakita ko po sa inyo kung ano yung difference ng HGAB from the committee report. Okay? Okay, so ito po. Okay? So from there po, makikita ninyo na yung HGAB is very general only. Makikita lang po ninyo dyan yung name ng project and then the amounts involved. Yan. Okay? Hindi nyo po makikita kung sino na yung congressman specifically yung nag-insert. Yung gumawa ng mga insertions na highly questionable. So it is most likely for that reason nga po kaya gusto yun siya makita ni Congressman TIANGCO kasi gusto po niya ipakita sa atin po, sa ating taong bayan kung sino yung gumawa ng mga highly questionable na insertions po dun sa 2025 GAA. Hindi po kasi yan makikita sa HGAB like what I showed you, di ba? Makikita lang po nyo sa HGAB na lang is the name of the project and then the amount that was appropriated for it. Kung sino man yung congressman na nag-lobby for that, wala na yun siya sa HGAB. Pero nasa committee report po yan or sa minutes po ng meeting. And again, it is most likely for that reason why Congressman TIANGCO is really pushing hard for this. And that is for complete transparency po in relation to the budget making process for the benefit po natin, the taong bayan, para at least alam natin sino yung mga abusadong politiko, di ba, na gumagawa ng mga magic po na yan sa budget natin, sa pera po natin, sa taxpayers funds po. Okay? So hopefully klaro po yan. So like what I explained kanina, if we will just apply basic principles of the relationship between a principal and an agent dito po sa standing and subcommittees, because if you ask me po, it is somewhat similar nga po, diba, in a sense, yung ganong relationship ng standing at subcommittee between principal and agent. And moreover po, kung titingnan natin sa section 39, wala namang distinction nakalagay dito. Nakalagay lang section 39, committee reports and orders. Committee reports or orders on any bill shall be considered in formal meetings and approved by a majority of the members. And then the committee report, once approved, shall be signed by the chairperson of the committee. Hindi naman nakalagay po dito na exempted or hindi kailangan mag-submit ng subcommittee. Therefore, yung presumption po niyan, included to yung subcommittees. Kasi yung subcommittee po nandun sa taas, diba? Section 27. Then this is in section 39, a later provision. So the presumption there is that we should interpret it na it will cover or include subcommittees also kasi walang specific exemption na provided for subcommittees, diba? So meron din po kasing legal principle na tinatawag na enrolled bill doctrine. Okay? So ang ibig sabihin po niyan, once po ang isang bill has been signed by the Speaker of the House, the Senate President, and the respective secretaries of both houses of Congress, ang presumption dyan ngayon is valid lahat ng naging actions until hanggang po sa napasa yon sa presidente yung bill na yon. Okay? So again, that is what we call the enrolled bill doctrine. And based po sa jurisprudence natin, ina-apply po talaga yan ng Supreme Court. Pag pirmahan pirmado na po ng Speaker, ng Senate President, and ng respective secretaries, parang mawawala po lahat ng mga technical lapses dun po tungkol sa bill na kine-question ngayon sa korte. And that is what we call nga po the enrolled bill doctrine. So ang dilemma ngayon ni Congressman TIANGCO dyan, pwede yun gamitin as defense dito nila Congresswoman SUANSING, yung enrolled bill doctrine. Kasi napirmahan po yun, di ba, nila Speaker, nila Senate President noong 2024, yung GAA, yung eventually na naging GAA of 2025. Okay? However po, yung difference lang sa panahon ngayon, dati very hands-off po yung Supreme Court when it comes to these matters because of that legal principle, the enrolled bill doctrine. Pero ngayon, may kita po natin dun sa decision kay VP Sara Duterte dun po sa impeachment case, if there is clear grave abuse of discretion, the Supreme Court at present po is gagamitin talaga yung power, yung absolute power of judicial review niya as provided by Section 1, Paragraph 2 of Article 8 of the 1987 Constitution if there is clear grave abuse of discretion. Okay? So yan po yung pinagkaiba lang ngayon. So yung maganda dito, since itong 2025 GAA, there are numerous cases filed already sa Supreme Court nila Atty. Vic Rodriguez, nila Congressman Isidro Ungab, and the rest of the PDP Laban Group. So dito po makikita natin kung ano na yung magiging stand ng Supreme Court in relation to the enrolled bill doctrine versus grave abuse of discretion or potential grave abuse of discretion na actions po ng House of Representatives. Okay? So ulitin ko lang po, dati kasi very hands-off po yung Supreme Court sa ganyan because they will either cite the doctrine of political question or the doctrine of enrolled bill. Okay? Pero like what happened po dun sa case ni Vice President Sara Duterte, ngayon yung Supreme Court will really take active part if there is clear grave abuse of discretion. So dito, depende na lang po yan kung paano mapakita nila Atty. Vic later on dun sa Supreme Court cases yung grave abuse of discretion para yun nga po, makita natin kung ano na po yung magiging action ng Supreme Court in relation to grave abuse of discretions and the enrolled bill doctrine. Okay, so this is going to be a very interesting case po, yung 2025 GAA cases currently already filed and pending po sa Supreme Court. So yung oral arguments doon ay yung nangyari doon medyo na ano na lang, na-postpone yung mga scheduled hearings. So hopefully matuloy na yun para makita talaga natin kung ano na yung stand ng Supreme Court in relation to grave abuse of discretion na actions po ng HOR, potential grave abuse of discretion na action ng HOR in relation to that doctrine po, which is the enrolled bill doctrine. Okay, so hopefully klaro po yun. If you like more legal educational videos, may lalabas po yan dito sa gilid ng mukha ko na i-recommend sa inyo ng YouTube algorithm. And until next time, see you all po. Bye-bye!